Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Football Friends podcast. Um, it's your boy Paddy. We'll be without Ash this week. He's ill, but and Gage has quit due to embarrassment. But we will go on with the show, and we're probably going to open up with the Chelsea Spurs game, which was one hell of a ride. 2-2 it finished, and oh god, we could start at any point in that game with the kerfuffle on the touchline with Tuchel and Conte.
All right,
But
all right. I'm here. I'm here. I couldn't. I couldn't go along with it for too long. As much as I would like to lie and pretend that no football has been played over the last week, I'm gonna go. I take a note from the Wim Hof method, and essentially I'm going to be doing the metaphorical equivalent of diving into ice water and taking the trauma face first.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, like, as a United fan, 0 points. The only goal scored is an own goal, and at the other end of the table, Man City absolutely drilling teams.
That's true.
It's
That's true.
not fun.
Well, the only thing I will say in response to this is the last time that Manchester United lost the first two games and ended up at the bottom of the table, they went on to win the Premier League. So
Interesting. What year was that?
just don't worry about that.
What, were any of the players
almost
in this?
80 odd years ago, but
Okay, so none of the players, managers, or fans who were in the stadium.
No, I'm actually just kidding.
Were even alive.
No, I'm actually just kidding. It was Alex. I think it was Alex Ferguson's first season at Manchester United. He didn't. Yeah. He wasn't in charge for the two games that were lost at the start of the season, but he came in partway through and I believe won the
He
league.
won the league in his first season. I'm not sure he did win the league in his first season. I could be wrong.
Shit.
Oh,
well, don't make me Google it, bro.
Okay, well, Google it next week. It's fine. We've already done this poorly enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Um.
Anyway, so do you actually want me to go first, or do you want to talk about the Chelsea Spurs game first?
Well, it's where we left on the last episode, so I think it's a pretty good place to kick off.
Yeah, well, it certainly did almost kick off.
It literally did kick off.
It was man, that was actually like one of the best football matches I've seen in a long time. It was truly a man's game. That's all I want to say on it.
Thanks, Graham. It had dessert. Thing is, it was a full meal, and then it had dessert. What a game!
Oh yeah, it was just. I did watch the match. I actually couldn't sleep, so I was up at 3 a.m. or some shit and watched the match.
Nice.
And first half I was like, after bagging on Chelsea for like every day of the week since the season started, I was like, oh man, they're going to win this game. That's the way it looked to me. And Koulibaly scored like one of the tastiest volleys I've seen, especially from a centre back.
The ball didn't hit the ground.
So good, man.
It was directly from a corner.
So good, man. What a goal!
Look, there's absolutely nothing that could, like, if the
Came
ball
in partway through.
If there was no net, I know I say this a lot, but if there was no net, the ball would still be moving right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked that. So the corner came in, Koulibaly volleyed it, and Sterling was between him and the goal line, and he had to duck. So imagine the Koulibaly volley just hitting Sterling like directly in the face and not going in.
That'd be even funny. That would have been like almost comical because it was a cross from Cucurella to Koulibaly into Sterling. So the three signings like fuck it all up together.
Yeah, but obviously that's not how it happened. It just turned out to be, it's probably going to be up there at the end of the season as one of the best goals.
Oh yeah, well yeah, already I suppose. Certainly in the Premier
To be
League.
fair, it was a weekend of cracking, like absolutely cracking goals.
Oh yeah, well, that's why this podcast is going to be easy because if Ash was here, all three of us have insanely intense matches to talk about, like
Lots
lots
to
of
speak
drama.
about.
Yeah.
And then
So yeah, and then it was half time, and it was 1-0, and yep, like I said, I kind of thought it was still going to be Chelsea.
yeah, Chelsea looked the better team for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and okay, this was the interesting thing too. After, I can't remember if this happened before or after the goal, but after I talked a lot of trash about Chelsea not having subs and all that. Their subbing was amazing. Like what happened is they subbed on another defender, but that changed the position of about 4 different players. So like Reece James was in the back 3, and then he got pushed out wide, and then because he went out wide, he actually that later on put him in the position to score his goal. So
score a goal.
Yeah, so actually it's very interesting tactical. I don't know, like it's a good tactical decision in a way. But I don't know if they just got lucky in that regard or.
So I have a point on Reece James, and I've got a sort of a philosophical question rather than a question within the match. Son was breaking away. I think it was in the first half. Son was breaking away in one of his classic sort of speed man breakaways that he does.
Mm-hmm.
And Reece James pulled him down like with his hands. And like as the rules currently stand, it's a yellow card.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be a red card because again of how the rules are written. And I was thinking to myself when I watched that, like that almost deserved, because of how sort of blatantly unprofessional it is. It needs to be something more than a yellow card. And what I'm suggesting is, should football have a sin bin for just like gross unprofessionalism, basically?
I see, yeah, actually the idea of them having a sin bin is very interesting. Like,
so if you're booked for diving or pulling, say, for example, pulling shirt pulling, or pulling an opponent's hair, for example.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, actually, okay, we're jumping ahead. I'll get into that because there is actually a word for word rule for that already. So
about the hair.
Yeah. It got put in there because of old mate Fellaini.
Did it?
But anyway, so okay. First, so the first thing, I suppose we should do it in chronological order because first of all, Højbjerg scored a goal, right?
Yeah, cracker.
Yeah, a very, very nice goal. And however, it was not without its controversy.
Yeah.
So, did you see the challenge on, I believe it was Havertz from Bentancur?
Bentancur, yeah. So the replay that I did manage to see, honestly, it just looked like a hard challenge from the side that got the ball. Didn't look like a foul to me. It looked hard, but it did not look like a foul.
I'm seeing a lot of different interpretations, and I'm still not 100%. I feel like he does get the ball just. It's, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I can understand why a ref was unsure, but then a lot of people were trying to say that Richarlison was offside as well.
Okay, well, I didn't see Richarlison be offside.
Yeah.
Or in what?
Neither did the linesman. So neither did the linesman.
Yeah,
so there you go. but also that's kind of ridiculous anyway, because if you take a shot from outside the box and like you're offside or something, It's like I shot from a fucking mile out. Like, what do you mean? Like,
Well,
I get it
yeah,
if you like, you're in the goalkeeper's face or something, like trying
yeah,
to
and then you
distract
jump
him.
over the ball or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But like, it's kind of ridiculous. Otherwise, yeah. So
yeah, I totally agree. But it's yeah, it's difficult to tell without seeing that particular event.
mm,
But yeah, I agree. Like the player in question has to be interfering.
yeah, yeah. And so
You know what I mean? Like morally.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so anyway, in response to this goal, Conte was very excited. I'll say he jumped up and gave someone a big cuddle and screamed in someone's face, and then that caused Thomas Tuchel to scream in his face.
Look,
and it's
love
always
it.
it's always a nice sight when you see the players breaking up a fight between the managers. So that's quite funny. And then both managers received yellow cards in that moment.
Yeah.
And then the game carries on, and of course, as mentioned earlier, Reece James scores his spectacular goal as well. I mean, it was right down the middle, but like still,
Yeah,
it was
to
good.
be honest, like I mean, the ball hit the back of the net, so we can't exactly fault him. But if I was, pick a corner.
Yeah, yeah. It was just the timing, like and the yeah. So either way,
Look, he scored a goal.
And yeah, so then it's 2-1, and Tuchel, who has been riled up by Conte, he has to celebrate even harder. That's sort of trying to one up him, and he like almost runs the entire length of the pitch, like at speeds exceeding Harry Maguire's top speed, I would say. And
remind me what minute this goal was scored.
Oh damn, I don't have it in front of me, but I want to say it was like, it wasn't too long after the Højbjerg goal. I think it was around the 70-minute mark, kind of thing.
But not even that late.
Yeah, but like I said, it was just in response to Conte playing it up before. And like,
yeah.
So, but as he runs down the touchline, he runs past Conte, who has like his head down. He's like got his hand over his eyes, like looking down off to the side, almost like he's trying to hide his face, like from embarrassment or trying to ignore Tuchel. And so then afterwards, he goes on the Twitter and posts like a photo of it, and he pretty much says, "Hey Tuchel, if I had noticed you running past me, I would have tripped you over because that's what you deserved." Which is just hilarious.
He's just like I don't know.
Well, look,
I enjoy him. How about that?
Yeah, look, I feel like there's never been a more Spurs manager in existence than Conte.
Harry Redknapp.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But yeah, so anyway, then it's 2-1 again to Chelsea, and it's all go. Everyone is going hundies and trying to score the last goal. Spurs actually start pressing really high and playing really well. And then, in literally the last touch of the game, Harry Kane scores a fabulous header, and in the 96th minute to make it 2-2. And
yeah,
Conte celebrates like it's a win. But then the controversy of this one was in the play just before when the goal was scored. It was also a corner. It was 2 corners in a row. The first one was saved by Eduard Mendy.
Yeah.
And during that, we had the nefarious hair-pulling incident where one Christian Romero pulled the hair of Marc Cucurella. and pulled him to the ground. I suppose. Yeah, got a big handful. And
There's plenty that's
yeah. Well, that's what I've seen Spurs fans posting. They were basically like saying, "Oh,
how can he avoid it?
Having hair like that is just asking for it."
Wow.
Yeah. But I guess
no further comment, officer.
Yeah. So essentially, what I alluded to earlier with the rule is that what actually happened to Marouane Fellaini is that he got his hair pulled and he went to the ground in a match, and the player who actually did it to him, I think nothing happened during the match, but when they reviewed it, and then they decided that anytime you pull someone's hair in that way, it is immediately considered violent conduct and is a 3-match ban for pulling hair. And now the part that makes the story even funnier is that, well, then Marouane Fellaini decided to shave his head because he was like, I don't want to risk, getting my hair pulled again because it was bad, So he shaves his head.
Oh, you cut out a little bit there. So the last thing I heard was any hair pulling event will be considered.
Oh, sorry. Any hair pulling event is considered violent conduct and immediately results in a 3-match ban.
Oh, so it's effectively a red card offence to pull someone's hair.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. So it's and so essentially the bit that makes the story funny is that in response to this, Marouane Fellaini also shaved his head because he didn't want to get his hair pulled all over again. However, though, he did later go on to play a match against Arsenal, against another Sideshow Bob looking fellow by the name of Guendouzi.
Guendouzi?
Whose hair he pulled Guendouzi to the ground and got away with it.
Goodness sake.
So it's like literally the meme of like the bully getting beaten up by his parents. So he goes to school and then beats up a smaller kid.
Or the two Spider-Mans pointing at each other.
Yeah.
With big frizzy haircuts.
So moral of the story is
Mr. Romero should have been sent off.
Marc Cucurella needs to shave his head, yeah.
Or Marc Cucurella needs to find another player with big hair and just give it a little tug.
Yeah.
And he'll get away with it.
That's fair, yeah. So yeah, you're right. Romero probably should have received a red card for that. And obviously then it would have been the ball turned over and that second corner would have never been taken and the goal would not have happened. But
yeah, so really we should be talking about a Chelsea win here. And,
yes, and they are very annoyed. Chelsea fans actually started an online petition to get the ref fired, and it got like 150,000 signatures. And
I mean,
but then also I don't know if it actually was VAR. That's the thing. But if it was actually Mike Dean on VAR that day,
the VAR room.
Yeah, which is quite interesting. But he has been made to take a paid vacation. Like he's been suspended for a moment.
I thought you were going to say hairdressing course.
yeah. Anyway, that's so the Chelsea fans did revolt, and it actually did result in some people getting in trouble. And so after this, ignoring that incident, the game did finish 2-2. And like I said, Conte celebrated this like it was a win. and
did that annoy anyone? Did that annoy anyone?
Yeah, I think it must have annoyed Thomas Tuchel just a tiny bit, because when they go to shake hands,
he seemed to be pissed off that Conte didn't look him in the eye.
Yes, so that's what he says in the end. They have a brief handshake, and Conte's just trying to be quick about it, like just whatever, I'll shake your hand, loser, whatever. Like that kind of vibe.
Loser.
And then like
Drawer.
as Conte tries to like walk away, like Tuchel doesn't let go of his hand and like pulls him back, and he's like, "You look me in the eyes when you shake my hand," and it's like, okay, thanks, Dad. It's like, what the fuck does Conte owe you, bro? That's such a weird. I feel like he was like in the same way that Anderson got in the head of Darwin, Conte got in the head of Tuchel in that match.
Yeah, I mean, I came out of it thinking, like, I don't know if I could dislike Antonio Conte, but I came out of it thinking that Tuchel was the bigger dick.
It was funny how Graham Souness described the match as a man's game when those two were acting like teenage girls.
Can't fault you there.
And for this incident, that again there was another fight over this, and the players had to separate the managers again. They both received red cards, and what a hell of a match! I thoroughly enjoyed every minute. As a neutral, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen ever.
So I was discussing this with a work friend of mine who is not like he's across football, but he's not entirely clued in on what was going on. But he was like, so what? Like when a coach receives a red card, like what happens? I was like, it's basically nothing. Like they'll coach the team all week, and then they'll just sit in the stands for the next game. And he described to me he's a big rugby league fan, and this story ended with him telling me about a coach of the Canberra Raiders calling an opposition player a gutless dog, which I like to think in Tuchel's post-match interview he called Conte a gutless dog.
Well, in their post-match interviews, they were actually quite just like, yeah, it's just banter. Like that was kind of the way they played it. It was quite funny.
Like, what are you doing?
But anyway, that's I've already wasted enough breath talking about Chelsea, so let's move on.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to go next, or shall I?
Oh, I'll go. I'll take this trauma straight in the face.
Take it on the chin.
Yes, after
take it
a horrific showing from Ten Hag's Manchester United.
He's down to 8 Hag now.
Yeah, definitely. So we've conceded some 6 goals, I believe, and we haven't even scored one. It was scored by McAllister. So we are sitting in 20th after this 4-0 defeat to Brighton. This is our worst start of the Premier League in decades, and I think it's the worst. It's like the lowest points, like sitting 20th. That hasn't happened since like 1936 or something. But
good lord!
But what I was talking about earlier, I was right. It is that the last time that Manchester United lost their opening 2 games, they won the Premier League. And this was in the 1992-93 season. So it was
very first Premier League season.
Yes. So I was mistaken I was mistaken about Alex Ferguson starting then. It was the first season of the Premier League. Alex Ferguson was in charge, and it was that was his first win. Alex Ferguson's first win at United. So it was United's first title since 1967.
Yes. Yeah, okay. That makes a whole lot more sense.
Yes. So yeah, that's it. Last time we won the league, but we'll see. I doubt it.
Which means it'll definitely happen this season.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So anyway, what a thoroughly embarrassing match. Most of it being landing on David De Gea's plate, because first goal was just him totally flubbing it, and it just went through his hands like water through a spaghetti strainer. And So it was just terrible save, horrific goalkeeping. And then second one, again, another De Gea error. We are trying to learn how to play it out of the back, and he
wasn't the only one at fault for that one, though. Certainly not.
I'd say it was a poor decision. He
look the pass to, was it Eriksen?
It's Eriksen, yeah.
The pass to Eriksen needs to be harder, but when you're playing the ball out from the back, you don't, especially against a team that were pressing. Brentford were pressing quite high.
Oh yeah,
because I mean, I suppose United kind of allowed them to, but you've got to move the ball quickly. Eriksen he jogged towards the ball and then took a touch and took a shit touch. He played that ball first time to the right back, this would not have happened.
Yes, I agree with that. He turns the wrong way. He should pass it first time. Taking a touch was a bad move, but also it probably shouldn't even be him that deep. Like I don't know where
receives the ball.
I don't know where the hell Fred is. Like he's supposed to be playing 6 in that game, and it probably wouldn't be better to pass that one out wide. But that's the thing, is that we have to realize that the team is learning to play it out the back. And I don't know if you remember when Manchester City were trying to learn how to play it out the back, and they had Claudio Bravo in goal, who essentially did exactly the same thing that happened in this match multiple times.
He would muff it up, yeah.
So it does take a while to learn a new thing like this, playing it out the back, and that was Brighton were putting a tremendous amount of pressure on De Gea, who has never been that kind of goalkeeper. So look, it's growing pains. For this one, I'm pretty sure it's still obviously not a good mistake to make, but I do see that as growing pains. And then third goal, almost kind of the same. We had to start a pair of Maguire and Martinez because we had Lindelof is injured and Varane is coming back from injury, so he wasn't quite ready. And so Martinez had only played, I think he only played one match and half of a preseason game or something. So it was never supposed to be. He was never supposed to be straight into the first team. I don't think that's quite right. So a lot of pressure is on him to adapt to the Premier League quickly. Coming from Eredivisie is quite a big difference. And yeah, he just sort of gets isolated in for that third goal, and Ben Mee can just kind of walk in a header.
Oh yeah, it was just so poor. Like again, I know that's kind of where you're meant to put a defender. You put a defender on the post. That's fine. But if a big strong guy like Ben Mee, who's an aerial presence for sure, goes and stands next to him, swap him out. Put someone else on him.
Well, that's what a lot of people were saying. Yeah.
Put someone strong next to Ben Mee.
Well, that's it. The thing is, last season it would have been Maguire playing left centre back in that position, but they changed Maguire to the right side. And but then also, yeah, you're right. They should switch, but then that's the thing, is like it's a I was reading some article about this, and they sort of say that like when you're as a centre back having to switch is usually a bad sign that your defensive partner is not ideal. And
well, maybe that's true, but it's
I know. Well, we didn't have Scott McTominay on the pitch too, because the only thing that keeps Scott McTominay on the pitch is his height and his homegrown status. So look, Brentford are a very tall team. They actually have very tall and very fast players.
And strong.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Martinez kind of just gets his footing a bit wrong and doesn't quite react properly, so he gets beaten. But I mean, Ben Mee's not even 6 foot. Ben Mee is 5'10", 5'11".
Is he?
Yeah, I know. I was surprised. I always thought Ben Mee was like huge, but he's not. I think he's 5'11". He's 180 centimeters. So
Yeah, 5'11".
yeah, so he's not even huge, but compared to Martinez, he looks huge. He is definitely strong. So yeah, but again, that was just sort of poor planning, and all of this happened within like 30 minutes, which is even worse. And after this third goal, the team just sort of gave up. Like, they're just like, here we go again.
Dropped a bollock.
Yeah. And then the fourth one was just like a perfect counter-attack from Brentford, I got to say.
And it was the fourth one.
Yeah, I know. Fourth goal in 35 minutes is just embarrassing from Brentford. Like, if it was Liverpool, people would be like, oh, yeah, sure. Or Man City, they'd be like, yeah, okay, cool. But it's Brentford, man. Like, what the fuck? I predicted this team to be fighting for relegation. Like, but then, so we just get done on the counter-attack big time because everyone presses so high up because that's what their instructions are, obviously. Especially Maguire, which is insane because, like, if you're Maguire and you know how fucking slow you are, like, maybe you in particular don't push that high. Like,
yeah,
Harry Maguire has horrific reading of the game and like anticipation. So, like,
kind of,
his pace wouldn't matter so much if he was able to react quicker, but he can't because the problem is that they went full counter-attack. Both of their strikers are extremely fast, and Martinez was covering his man, but then Maguire didn't. Maguire was still like running back 30 seconds later, after the goal was scored. And like, so then Luke Shaw, who is, playing an overlapping forward, who is basically on the byline, sprints the entire length of the pitch trying to catch Mbueno, I think his name is. Who was actually faster than Luke Shaw anyway. So, because everyone was trying to blame Luke Shaw for this. I'm like, look, bro, he ran the length of the pitch trying to pick up for Harry Maguire, who barely came back at all.
Maybe I'm being mean, but do you think Luke Shaw looks unfit again?
Oh, I just think the mentality, the fragile mentality, and Luke Shaw is a player really affected by that.
Fine, I'll be more blunt. Does he look fat?
I don't know. I don't necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. I did actually read somewhere that they want to put him on a diet or something like it.
Yeah, I'm sure that basically since his goal in the Euros final, he hasn't looked, great.
Yeah, he lost his place to Alex Telles last season, and that's that's saying a lot.
It was saying something.
Yeah, so yeah, he's not in his prime, that's for sure. We're still not ready, and we're still adapting to this new style. It's going to take time. Of course, it was always going to take time. It was delusional to think that it would be instantaneous. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Nobody could possibly believe that. I think just the nature of the defeat and the opponent who you have been defeated by is the major problem that people are
in that position
having.
Yeah, insanely.
That's my interpretation.
Yeah, so very demoralizing. But yeah, gotta move on from this. So, but again, like, all of those goals were sort of from individual mistakes or growing pains from the new tactics. So, it doesn't exactly, the scoreline doesn't exactly reflect the entire match, because after the second half, we did 3 subs, and the second half we didn't concede anymore, but we also didn't score any, so it was sort of a poor showing all around, I would say. Not a good match. I just think after 4-0, everyone gave up. Everyone was just sort of like...
Yeah. It did reek of a team that just sort of doesn't have... like, there's no team culture. It's sort of like...
Yeah. Well, it's confidence. Like, confidence was already so low, and this just sort of added to it.
That's right. Well, confidence is a culture in and of itself. Like, City and Liverpool both have a confidence culture. When they're losing and you're seeing them play, you're seeing them sort of fight back, even if it's the 92nd minute, both those teams, you think
Mm.
they're going to score. They might not win the game, maybe they'll bring it back to a draw, whatever, but they are not going to let their heads drop. They will they will play until the 95th minute. And
You're right. When they've shown in plenty of matches, Liverpool and Manchester City in particular, that they don't give up. They win even if they go down a lot. They fight. They
will not be beaten.
Yeah. So I mean, that's exactly the kind of culture that needs to be developed, and that has been strained over the years and lost from various reasons. And there's plenty of reasons for them to feel that way. So it's been a rough start to the season too, in terms of I assume the Cristiano Ronaldo thing is upsetting for a lot of people. Our transfer business has not been good. Trying to learn the new style. There's a lot of factors.
There's a billion things going on, but
I think you're right. If we can criticize anything about this match, it should be their effort, because the stats came out afterwards, and Brentford ran like 13.8 kilometers more than Manchester United did in this match,
which is a shitload. That's an absolute shitload.
Yep. And so for punishment, Ten Hag cancelled their scheduled day off the next day and made them all run 13.8 Ks. Yeah.
I love that. Brilliant.
In the heat. Yeah.
Very specific.
I love it. That's a good move. I really like that. Yeah. So
I like the idea of them getting to like 13.7. It's like, is that enough? No. You run.
Not yet. Yeah. So that's good. I like that. And but look, and since then, it's been absolute turmoil. I think that a result like that probably hammered the last nail in the coffin of our Frenkie de Jong deal, and it's just kind of made us look even more like a joke and put us into full transfer panic mode. And the media have obviously lapped this up and just linked us with every single player in existence. And so like we've been trying to buy Casemiro and João Felix.
No.
Just not going to happen. I know. Most insane shit ever. I just I did a video on it. I was just laughing at everything so much. How just linked with everyone.
Just name every player.
Yeah, exactly. In the video, I'm like, look, we're linked with Mbappe too by this logic. Like, who doesn't want Mbappe? Like, so like, yeah. And then, so I still seen those stories going around today, and I'm just like, what a joke. I don't care. Like, whatever price we pay for, they were saying it was going to be 70 mil for Casemiro, and he would be one of the highest earning players in the Premier League. I'm just like, well, yeah, but he'd also have to convince him to leave Real Madrid. There's no fucking way.
Where he's been for 10 years.
And had one of his best seasons ever last season. So,
and he's 31.
I think he's 30, but yeah, you're right. Exactly. Well, why would he leave? I don't. It's stupid. And then João Felix as well. Like, they paid 120 mil for him, and then, we bid 135 mil or something about a month ago. But I just don't. I just don't even believe it.
No.
And it just wouldn't happen. It's just stupid. I know. Like, but at least we had some common sense and cancelled the Rabiot deal. Because he was asking for like 250k a week, which would put him on more money than Bruno and Eriksen and basically everyone. He'd be on like the same wage as like Ronaldo. So they just kind of laughed in his face and said you're not that good, bro. You're not that good. He's not even a bad player, but he's not that good. That's just stupid.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have kept Pogba for that. Well, no, I think that was Pogba's wage that he refused. And so, like,
look, this is what I'm talking about. That, like, the sort of the shit at United, all of it, it's just so disjointed. It's.
Oh yeah, I know. It's rotten to the core. Like the whole Glazer stuff is. There's actually I'll link you to this later, but the Swiss Ramble, which You probably know more about this than me. Is that literally the Football Ramble like Swiss version?
Yeah, it's named after it.
Yeah, so they're
like a
they did this massive Twitter thread that outlines basically all of the financial issues with Man United caused by the Glazers, and it is comprehensive and ridiculous.
Long.
And yeah, so there's actually big talk of the club being sold at the moment. The latest I've heard that they've said that they will accept a bid for $6 billion, which is a hell of a profit when you consider they paid 800 mil. But also, what's the guy's name who's trying to buy it? But either way, $6 billion makes sense because Chelsea sold to Todd Burley, not that long ago for $5.5 billion. So that is kind of the market rate, I guess. And I mean, so that's the thing. It's good because they haven't set the price like so ridiculously high that no one's interested. It's actually a very reasonable price. And so I would love it. Look, if honestly, even if we sign no one for the rest of the window, but the club gets sold to not the Glazers, I'd love that more.
You'd take that?
I'd take that more than... I'd rather have that than us signing João Felix, Casemiro, and all these guys. Like, if the club gets sold, then that's gonna fix a lot of
Worth
things.
It. Yeah, you're right. Worth it.
And so, yeah. But the other thing is that we have officially given up on the Frankie Young deal, and I'm praying that we're going to sign like Milinkovic-Savic because
anyone.
Milinkovic-Savic has been offered to us for 50 mil, and I'm like, deal done. And we have also just recently been linked with Pulisic, which is another player that I would fucking snap up because he is not getting enough minutes at Chelsea. He wants to play. He had a really bad interaction with the Chelsea fans last season. They actually turned on him. It's quite crazy. So he's
weird.
Yeah, Chelsea fans are stupid. But so I would 100% take Pulisic, but Chelsea are a bit reluctant to sell him to
let him go.
A league rival in the sense that we're both going for the same Champions League spot. So yeah, but I'll take him. He's Captain America. So
literally Captain America.
Yeah, and he will be Captain America for the World Cup this year. So why not? I want that. I want that figure in my squad. However, the dumbest decision we're going to make is we are now trying to sell James Garner, which is just insanely retarded. We're going to sell him for like apparently 15 mil or something. And basically every club, every Premier League club has been like, yeah, sure, we'll take him, fuck you. And like, imagine if we sold this kid for 15 mil and then he goes on to be awesome. And we just
you're going to buy him back in 5 years for 70 mil.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we do sell him, there better at least be a fucking buyback clause for like 30 mil or something. We sell him to Southampton or something, we put a buyback clause in it. I would accept that. I would
just loan him.
I would still prefer him to go on loan, yeah. Why not? It would make sense. He was loaned to Nottingham Forest last season, got promoted, so we should loan him to a Premier League club. That just makes sense to me.
Right. Can I make you less angry?
I suppose so.
Let's talk about a club that's not Manchester United.
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to look, trying to find out who was going to buy the club. Oh, sorry, the other one. Sorry, one more thing. I'm sorry, I've already said so much, but Moises Caicedo, that deal might be on. He the Brighton midfielder. He tore us up in our first game as well.
Yeah, good player.
But he actually is his parents are his agents and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And they are diehard Manchester United fans.
Yeah, of course they are.
So they've pretty much said, we want this deal to happen. And he has just recently in an interview admitted that he wants to play for Man U in the future or, soon. So that deal could be on.
Time.
And I'd totally take him. And the man who is trying to purchase Manchester United is Sir Jim Ratcliffe.
Never heard.
He was one of the guys he is a billionaire. He owns like multiple businesses in England and all sorts of stuff like that, entrepreneur and so on. He was one of the contenders to buy Chelsea but he didn't quite
Right.
make it. So he's like, all right, I'll take Man U then. Okay, so
Wow.
sorry, yeah. Now, okay, now go on. You can take us away.
Well, I just I could hear you getting more and more upset. I just thought you wanted it to stop.
It's called venting.
Yeah, you need your own vent. Gage's vent.
Hey, look. At least I've proved that I'm not a glory hunting douche because I'm sticking with the team. I'm not just gonna fucking bail on them because they lose 4-0. You know.
Yeah, you're not going to Gareth Bale on them.
I didn't get into this team to hunt glory. I got into it because I'm a total retard.
Yes, with the timing of Harry Maguire. Okay, Liverpool, Crystal Palace.
Yes.
I really hope that this is not going to become a thing because I obviously was at work when this game happened, and I've seen as many highlight packages as I can, and 12 to 15 minutes can tell you only so much about a football game, but I really, really hope that effectively being absolutely all over every other team and then not winning is not going to become a theme of this season. Literally every highlight, we had 70% possession when Darwin Núñez got sent off, and I think we finished on 74 or 75. We had more possession when he got sent off.
I see what you mean, but I did watch the match, and
I know. Okay, go ahead.
And it was, yeah, you had a lot of the ball, but you weren't really going anywhere with it, and the way Crystal Palace literally set up for that. They were deep in their half playing classic counter-attack football. So they wanted you to they were happy for you to have the ball. They weren't trying to press you. They were just trying to wait for one breakaway and then score a sick as Wilfried Zaha goal. Which is what happened.
Certainly it was actually. I tried to time it as best I could. Because the highlights that I was watching didn't do that. And Zaha is absolutely perfect in terms of his breaking the offside trap.
100%. I totally agree.
If we had any other defender partnering Van Dijk other than Nat Phillips, I think that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's probably true because
Nat Phillips has what is it the Klopp said? Brain for the Premier League and feet for League One.
Did you really say that?
Yeah, I think so.
That's rough, man. I forgot he was even a Liverpool player, to be honest. I thought he went on loan. That was your other Phillips.
Yeah. So look, I didn't see him really put a foot wrong. And when there's a ball of that quality and a run of that quality and then a finish of that quality, Nat Phillips is not to blame for that goal.
Oh, it was perfect counter-attack football, man.
But the goalkeeper distributed the ball perfectly to Eze. He broke away from Alexander-Arnold. That's exactly how you play against Liverpool. That's exactly how you play when, we had 3 players, including the goalkeeper, in our own half when Eze broke away from Trent. That is exactly how you play against a super high pressing team, super high pressing, super attacking Liverpool team.
Couldn't agree more. That's a team with spirit, and they have a good coach to facilitate that as well. He knew exactly how to set up against Liverpool because he is proving to be a quality manager. Yeah,
I totally agree. Big Paddy V. He's obviously earned his he he's earned his right to be a Premier League manager, and he's earned his right to be the manager of Crystal Palace, and he's doing just fine.
Totally.
And that's a lesson in how to play against Liverpool.
Oh yeah.
Someone else who needs a lesson. Here comes another one of my perfect links. Is Darwin Núñez.
Young Darwin, yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a lesson in how to take being wound up by Premier League defenders.
Oh yeah, man. Honestly, I think that, and if I don't know if you've seen, it was released. I saw it later. I saw it a bit later. Is that someone released like a compilation of every interaction they had in that game, and the shithousery was going on the entire match. They were
but the worst for me is that by like the third one, you can see Núñez fighting back.
Yeah,
and it's like,
definitely.
He needs swap him out to the wing. I don't care. Put him on. Like someone needed to grab him and say, go play right. Go play right wing. Put Salah in the middle.
He's got that.
I don't care that it's. I know what you're about to say as well. He's got that fiery sort of Luis Suarez.
I was going to say that Uruguayan fire.
Yeah, we've got another one. He's gonna bang 25 goals this season and get sent off 3 times.
Well, I mean, look, he may get all 8 red cards to himself.
Well, Conte and Tuchel have taken up 2 of their spots.
Oh, good point. I wasn't sure if we were including managers in this.
Look, it's a red card.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have to try and get Ash to buy into that one, but
look, I'm not having it as anything else.
Yeah, fair enough. But I agree. Like, Darwin is new to the league, and I get it. You're a young hotshot, probably big. You want to be the big boy, and a player like Anderson is fucking with you. That's what they do. That's what Premier League defenders are known for. And he lost his head, and just and to be honest, actually, the way I saw it is it was kind of like he was trying to like kind of chest bump him, but since he's like 6-7 inches shorter, his forehead like hit his chin. And then Anderson falls down like a little pussy ass bitch, like totally playing it up. But like, obviously, why he did it. Obviously,
I never look at that as like he's being a pussy. I look at that as he's being smart. Like
you can be a pussy and be smart.
The thing is, he's not being a pussy. Like he's not afraid. He's not hurt. He's winning.
No, but the way he falls over, like
to get a player sent off.
Yeah, but that's a bitch ass move.
Yeah.
Like look, I'm not saying it's not clever. It's like Italian levels of rat, but like it's
Italian levels were hugely offensive to the rat population listening to this.
Yeah. So but I get it. I understand. It's just look. I'm just thinking about
He did go down like he was hit by lightning.
I'm just thinking about what Lord Souness would think, and again, it's more teenage girls behaving pathetically. Like it's not a man's game. He headbutts you in the face. You say thank you, sir.
Quite honestly, if Darwin had I don't want him to do this. Because I want to keep him on the pitch.
Yeah.
But if he had just turned around and punched Anderson in the face, I would have respected that a whole lot more.
Well, the thing is, that's probably the same. It's probably still a 3-match ban, right?
Yep.
See, you got to commit. If you're going to
get sent off, knock out one of their players.
Should have pulled his hair. That would have been better.
He should have pulled his own hair.
Yeah. So, anyway,
which then led us.
He gets sent off.
He got sent off, which then led us to. Okay, I'm going to make a shout here.
Yep.
The only goal of the weekend better than Koulibaly's.
It was pretty fucking good. It was an amazing goal, and honestly, Diaz has been somehow underrated
best
for you
player.
guys. He's been
Diaz
amazing.
has been our best player.
Yeah, definitely. Such a good signing, such a good player, man. Fights hard. And the tackles, he presses hard, he makes tackles, he does everything, man. Honestly,
He's a perfect Klopp player. He's a perfect Liverpool player. I love him. He is the fact that right before Nunes got sent off, tried an overhead kick.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So he scored that absolute screamer, but then you guys sort of struggled.
Fine, natural.
We
still should have won. We still should have won. We had enough chances to win.
Oh,
we missed good chances. I know Zaha hit the post as well. He should have scored. But from the chances that we got, we could have won 4 or 5-2.
Possible. But
we had good enough chances to win that.
Yeah, I don't know. Look,
by a handy few goals.
From my observation, from watching the match and stuff, it did really feel like it was Crystal Palace's game. It was like completely in their hands, and if it was, I think any slightly better team would be disappointed after not winning that game. But it's away to Liverpool, your Crystal Palace. They're happy with a point, and so they were happy to continue to sit deep, and they didn't start pressing you guys as much as they should have. But even then, having that missing man did make a big difference for them.
It will.
Yeah, so I mean, one silver lining of this is you guys won't have Darwin Núñez when you play Man U this weekend. So sorry, silver lining for me, yeah.
Yeah.
But the last thing I need to bring up is this injury crisis, because I mean this is probably part of the reason why you guys struggled too, is because
well, now we have a whole team's worth of
you had James Milner playing in the unnatural position of midfield, and like
okay, you pulled me in there. Well done.
Yeah, so but like what happened was Matip picked up an injury. Firmino got injured as well. Joe Gomez got injured just before that match started, so like the day before in training or something. So
yeah, he still played a role.
Did he play?
Came on. Yeah, he played.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well
he
took a knock or something, and then that's why Nat Phillips started. And so when we first talked about the injury crisis, it's almost been bad luck for you guys. Like, well, Klopp describes it as there being a witch in Anfield, but you were like, oh, at least it's like not our first team sort of players, but it's like completely swapped now, and it's like 5 or 6 first team players, like Konate, Matip, Joe Gomez, Firmino, the rest.
Yeah, there's lots of players.
Yeah, it's tons, man.
There's lots of players.
It's about 10. So
I think it's including Núñez, which is not an injury, but including Núñez, it's 11.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know how you're gonna line up in the next match, but
we're gonna be using some unusual positions. We might have to play a weird formation, but we'll give it a go.
Yeah.
All right. So let's round up the other games real quick and then do a preview.
Yes.
So a little meme hit the Twitter world this week, and for whatever reason, I think it's a Newcastle United fan account answered a Burger King poll. So Burger King UK, and they just put out a poll, which of our menu items are better, this one or that one? And the fan account, reposted Nick Pope for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then, suddenly, literally every, the next poll was like, what's better? Nick Pope or the Whopper. And then suddenly, literally every UK like fast food chain, airlines, all sorts of shit are just Twitter posting about Nick Pope. And then one of them were like, "Oh, okay. So if Nick Pope keeps a clean sheet on Sunday, we'll give that fan account a free McDonald's breakfast."
Oh, wow!
And he did.
How generous.
And he did.
Oh, is that You've done a bit better than that.
Well, look,
funny, sure, but
the admin of a Twitter account, thanks to Nick Pope, has got himself some Mackie D's.
a free meal, yeah.
Simply for playing the fool on Twitter.
I see, but you think about all of the free advertising they would have got from that, and then they're like, "Yeah, we'll show you a meal, mate."
Yes,
but yeah.
You can't turn your nose up.
Yeah, no, it should have been. You come in with your Newcastle, if you come in a Nick Pope goalkeeper
If you
kit,
come in a Nick Pope goalkeeping kit,
you get a free meal. Yeah,
we'll throw Whoppers at you until you drop them.
You've got to save the Whoppers from being thrown into your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that was that one. Newcastle still conceded a goal. Not too bad.
Decent.
You know, Nick Pope going for it.
Yeah.
And speaking of English goalkeepers, Dean Henderson having an absolute ball of a time on loan at Nottingham Forest.
Yes,
man of the match performance in my eyes, including a saved Declan Rice penalty.
Wow! Oh, damn! I wonder if he can play it out from the back.
Well, probably can, to be honest.
Maybe, but yeah. Well, there we go. Nottingham Forest get their first win. A cheeky 1-0.
Yeah. Three points in the bag. Their first points in.
Yep.
Who bloody knows how long?
Yeah, and to beat West Ham as well. That's good. That's a very good win.
Nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's Dino, and I honestly I think he's a better goalkeeper than De Gea. I know you may not disagree with that, but I think he'd be more suited to your style. And maybe we can talk about that next week, or do another video about that entirely.
Well, De Gea's a better shot stopper, obviously, but it's all going to come down to who fits in the system better.
That's right. So I think maybe the last one before we do the review is I've got two more. One more in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel Jesus, 2 goals, 2 assists.
Oh yes.
On his Arsenal home debut.
Mm-hmm.
First one being an absolutely beautiful.
He scored that absolute.
Sorry, did you cut out?
Oh no. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Well, yeah, the first goal, little interchange with Xhaka, and basically the only way that he could get the ball into the net, I suppose, just through a massive crowd of players, and then suddenly just chip, boom, top corner, corner chip from inside the box, and the keeper's like on his line. It looked ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
great start.
Again, good one to have in your fantasy side.
Oh, he sure is. He has been doing my fantasy team proud.
Yeah,
I only regret not making him captain instead of Salah.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Rip.
Yeah. So the last one I have is we're gonna have to go down to the Championship where Sunderland played QPR. And Sunderland were leading until the 80 something minute, and in the 92nd at 2-1, the QPR goalkeeper scored a goal. We
Unreal.
love to we love to see it. We love to hear it.
Was he up for a corner or something, or how did it play out?
Goal. But another part of the game that I wanted to bring to your attention is the lad who scored also assisted the goal, and he's a Moroccan midfielder. I'm sure I'm going to pronounce his name, but I'm going to pronounce it as it's written in English. Elias Chair.
Chair.
His last name is Chair.
Oh yeah, great name.
And he's 5'2", and he's not a young player. He's 24. He's fully grown. 5'2".
That's not tall. No,
he's a little man. But again, it doesn't really matter when you can just bang in free kicks and bang in crosses for your goalkeeper to head home.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, so yeah, it was a set piece. So there was a free kick, and then the keeper came up and.
Corner for the goalkeeper goal.
I see. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
So yeah, good luck to them, and well done to them.
Yeah. That's good. Good shout out to the championship.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you just reminded me of funny names.
Brilliant.
I think one of the lady footballers, one of the lionesses who went after Souness.
Here we go.
Who is in England, a lioness, of course.
International.
Her name is Bethany England.
Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect name for a footballer.
England scored for England.
Yeah. Well, because when I first, read the headline and it was, Souness trolled by England, I was like,
England,
the whole country.
Love it. It's a man's game, Bethany. Right, you got any more before we do a little preview?
No, I don't think I have anything else about it.
Cool. Right, I've got the fixtures in front of me. Have you got them in front of you?
No, I don't.
Okay, well,
just give you highlights, just the ones that stand out to you.
I'll tell you what. I'll roll down the entire list, and then you can tell me what grabs you.
Yeah.
The Ashes team, Tottenham, play at home to the Wolves.
Okay. Well, Wolves have just signed the guy you guys were after, Matheus Nunes. Wolves have just broken their transfer fee record to sign him.
Oh, Wolves buying a Portuguese player?
No way. No, I'm shocked. Yeah.
Cool. So we've got that. I think Tottenham at home will be a very tricky opponent this season. I think they're probably not going to drop too many points.
Conte's hungry, man.
Yeah, and he's going to instill that in those players. I think they want to fight for him as well. They're
definitely. Oh, they're convinced. Something. They're convinced. Yeah.
Right. In another, Stevie G meeting another one of his old playing rivals.
Mm-hmm.
He's just beaten Frank Lampard. Now he's up against Paddy V. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa.
Right. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. Again, hard to know.
I don't know, man.
I'd stick with the draw.
I think I put Aston Villa quite a bit higher than both of you in the predictions because, man, they over the last 2 seasons they have signed some seriously good players. They are stacking them up.
They do need it to click, and then it will be a lot better than what it's been. But I think at the moment they're probably underperforming for what players they have. But if Gerrard can make them tick, if Gerrard can make them click, then I have no doubt. Sorry, I was watching them on my phone, and now my phone's just died. So I'm going to
I got him here. The next one is Everton, Nottingham Forest.
Oh God, yeah.
Well,
Again, I'm gonna give it to Forest. I think.
yeah,
I
E-
think.
Everton look a little bit better. They've signed Connor Cody, who is a good leadership presence. We're talking about he was the captain of Wolves, and I think he immediately makes their team better. And that Chelsea tried to buy Anthony Gordon from Everton for like 50 mil, and they turned
They
it
should
down.
have taken that.
They turned it
They
down.
should have
I
taken that. He's
know.
not a 50 million. He's not a 50 million pound player. I was speaking to my boss
Yeah.
this week, who's a Everton fan, and he firmly agreed that they should have taken that.
Yeah. So, well, it's Everton's. You're right. It's Everton's match to lose because Nottingham Forest probably are happy as long as they aren't relegated this season, and
Yeah, I agree.
Everton sort of have something to prove. So,
yeah.
Next up, I've got Fulham Brentford.
Tight one. What I've got in front of me says Fulham are favoured to win, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Both of those teams at home looked certainly looked very nice. Fulham away from home looked fairly happy to just pick up the point.
Well,
but with Fulham at home, I'm gonna go with them to win.
Yep. I would say this is probably the two most physical teams in the league. Maybe Brighton would be another contender for that, but this match is certainly going to be a scrap. Like Fulham,
just Mitro on his own.
Yeah, it's massive. Well, Mitro actually almost got one of these 8 red cards for the season in the last match. He did a bad tackle and then missed a penalty and all sorts.
Naughty boy.
He missed the penalty so bad it probably deserved a red.
Yeah, well, we should have sent him off for that.
Yeah. Okay. Next is Leicester versus Southampton.
Yeah, both kind of underwhelming starts so far.
Southampton have not looked great.
Looked at it. Neither of Leicester. I mean, since getting rid of Schmeichel, they've only replaced him with Danny Ward.
Yeah, it's a bit weak, isn't
it? It's not as strong. Schmeichel was a good goalkeeper.
Definitely.
And Danny Ward is an all right goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah, so Southampton did get rid of their goalkeeper too, which was
Forster.
Yeah, so he was their starting goalkeeper. He's gone to Spurs.
Yeah, but their backup
McCarthy.
Is it McCarthy? Alex McCarthy, decent Premier League keeper.
He's okay, but I suppose he's better than Danny